Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey with Real Music. Hope you're doing okay wherever you are. I know I'm doing good because I just got through chatting with an awesome singer. You know him as the former lead singer of Yes. His name is Jon Anderson, and he's got a brand new album coming out on August 23rd called True. Got a new single called Shine On, and I'm going to talk about that and a lot of other things. Had so much fun, some interesting topics that we covered. I think you're going to enjoy it. So here we go. Here he is, the legend, Jon Anderson. Anyway, the brand new album coming out, August the 23rd, not long from
True,
now.
true.
Uh, so, yeah, the name of it's called True. Now,
Yeah, I
how
just
did,
said true twice. I
yeah,
don't
true,
know
true.
why.
Yeah, right. Subconscious thinking there. So, what made you decide to call it True? There had to be some kind of reasoning for titling it True.
Everything is true. I think when I spent time in Jamaica, I'd sort of bump into the Rastafarian people, and I was very, like stoned. I was a Bob Marley freak. I love Bob Marley. And I'd say, "How you doing?" And they'd always say, "True, man. Everything's true."
True. I
Big
like that.
word, true.
That's right. Not hard to spell either. But I mean, that's a fitting title, especially for the songs on here. Got a lot of great songs. I've been listening to the album, and I know the fans will get a kick out of it. So, what was your inspiration for this album and a lot of these songs?
I think I was touring with the Band Geeks, and this is a group of musicians who live in and around New Jersey. And we toured last year, and just for a month, I thought let's do 12 shows and see what it's like. Simply because they love Yes music, and somebody I know very well sent me a video of these guys, the Band Geeks, playing Heart of the Sunrise, which is by no means an easy piece of music. And they were killing it, man. It was incredible. So I got in touch with Richie, the bass player, and said, "My name is Jon Anderson. Let's go on tour."
Awesome.
And
That's
he
great.
said, "Are you sure you're Jon Anderson?" I said, "Yeah, yeah." And we toured, and I got to know them very well. And after a few weeks, I was thinking about what to do next, and I thought, "Oh, I'll call up Richie, see if he wants to make an album." And that's basically what I did.
Right. That's great. Um, and the single was "Shine On," which I love, by the way.
Good.
A lot of energy. It's got that retro sound, People
Yep.
that love you, like Yes fans and all of your solo, work and everything you've done, they're going to listen to that and go, man, that really kind of covers it all. But I really do love that song, man.
Good.
Uh, now? What's the story behind that song? What was the idea for Shine On?
Well, Richie had sent the idea to me after I'd sent him a couple of ideas for other pieces of music. One was Counties and Countries, which he made into a beautiful piece of music. And then he said, "I've got this song happening, throw some lyrics in there." I said, "Okay." And I got into the universal love, I've got to, come on, what are we here for? Universal love, isn't it? Well, I think it is, so I'll sing it.
Right.
Shine on, the sun's shining, everything's shining. And it was a lot of fun to record. Interestingly, that we would use Zoom because I'm 1,000 miles away on the west coast of America, and he's on the east coast in New Jersey area. And so we were able to listen to each other's music ideas and then do it live, Zoom, and just listen to it in sections and come up with ideas. It kind of felt like I was in the Yes in the 70s because it's the same sort of
Yeah.
throwing things up in the air and trying things out. And it worked out pretty cool.
Yeah. I agree. Um, and your voice talking about Yes in the '70s, and and which I love in the '80s. Grew up listening to that, and Still can't believe I'm talking to you. But your voice, though, there's a lot of musicians out there that are a lot younger than you that just don't have it anymore. How do you manage to sound like that after all these years?
Well, I just like singing. I always did. I remember at school being told to, Anderson, could you sing quieter, please? I can't hear everybody. Because I'd sing la da da da
Right,
like I was on Broadway or something, and it just naturally to enjoy singing. And gratefully, I've been like most people. You go through sickness and health sometimes, and you survive, and you come out the other end and think, can I still sing? Yeah, I can still sing. And I love singing. I love going on the stage and performing. And that comes from that sort of inner sense of, well, what else am I going to do?
right, right. You've been doing it for so long, you might as well keep going, right?
I'm going to keep going. It'll be okay.
That's right. It's going to be all right. Um, um, through all these years, though, as you're singing and touring, is something that you've learned through it all that maybe you've never really told anybody about, that you've really experienced and learned a lesson through all this, or what would you say that is?
Well, I've learned that I have to cough a little
Go
bit. I've learned that we're here for one reason. That's to find the divine within, because the divine energy is all over the place, and it's beautiful, and it's at everybody's reach. And it's a question of learning to meditate and be calm and be quiet and work on it, and know that you're not here just to play tiddlywinks, which is something I used to do when I was a kid. This is like, sorry to explain, but
I know it. Little bitty button looking things to flip.
yeah, you
You
flick
mash
them,
them. Yeah,
it's
flick
kind
them.
of,
That's right.
yeah. And that it's actually in the songs that I write. The best is yet to come. I'm just looking at some lyrics I printed out. The gift of love was here to stay, gifting me just knowing that love is forever,
Hmm.
knowing that truth is yet to come. The deeper we think about it, the deeper it comes to us. And I think singing about that is my nature. I think it started obviously with Yes, that I wasn't going to sing about what Rod Stewart sang about,
Right.
sexy women, that kind of thing. Went on tour once with Rod Stewart. He's such a sweet guy and kind of cool. And so I think that doesn't answer your question, but the idea is I just love singing.
Right. Hey, I understand. Totally understand. Um, is there a song on this album that's really connected with you, probably more than the others, that you really take personal and you really feel more than others?
Well, I think once upon a dream opens up so many avenues. Remembering when we did Close to the Edge, it's like a long form piece with a quiet middle section and stuff. And of course the song for my wife, Thank God You're Here, thank God I'm home, thank God you're in my life. And I wrote that 10 years ago with a wonderful guy called um, Crow. His last name's Crow, Crow. He writes books actually.
Um, well, there's a song on the album called "Build Me an Ocean." I really like that song. What's the story behind that?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. A lot of songs that I write come very naturally, like spontaneous. It started when I first worked with Vangelis, where he played so beautiful, and I'd start singing naturally. And that piece of music was sent to me by a really nice guy, Jimmy Hahn, and he just sent me this music, and I sang it within an hour. I'd sang it, and then sent it back to him and said, "Well, this is what I think it is. It's all about build me a river for souls to deliver life." It's a metaphor for the idea that we are spiritual beings, and the
Right.
soul is all interconnected with nature. Build me an ocean to sing off forever. And I'm happy that I'm remembering the lyric. It
That's
helps.
good. You might have to sing them later. I'm just saying.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
next spring we'll do it when we do a tour. We're talking about touring next year, doing both the album and the music we're doing now, which is Yes of the 70s sort of thing. Yesism, we call it. And
cool.
it's good fun.
And you're doing, I know you've been on tour. Are you doing the Shine On song out there? And what's the
Yeah,
reaction to that? Is that
yeah,
they've been liking that, right?
yeah. They just have a good time going out and listening to Yes, and then all of a sudden we say "Shine On" and everybody, oh, that's good, thank you. And we do. The other one is True Messenger. We do. So we have to, slowly put them into the show. Hopefully
Right,
they're going to hear them soon when they get the record. And then next spring we can do the whole album. I'd love that. Personally would love that. So we'll see.
right. Um, and when you're writing a song, how do you get into that mode? Is there a certain place you go? Is there a certain mindset you get into when you're writing? Do you have to be quiet, or do you have to be in a certain setting somewhere?
I
How does that-
don't. It comes naturally to sing. I found some tapes that I recorded 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and I just played one before, and I thought, wow, what was I thinking? I was I was like and I'm listening, I was thinking, I'm trying to sing something about something. One day I'll write it down.
right.
And that's what I do. I sort of scat is calling scat
Yeah,
singing, where you're sort of mimicking something because of the music pushing you in that direction, and you come up with some words and lyrics here and there. You think, oh, that's good, and like in gotta get that beautiful day to be. I've got it written down here. It's from Gotta Get That Beautiful Day to Be. It's all about the idea that things will come, the love the love yet to come. It's all about the love yet to come in our lifetime, that we're going to consciously find a way of accepting the love, the great love to come, that's going to wake us up a little bit and make us happier and more content and more connected to the divine. And that's what I'm just reading it again. Best is yet to come. Say I, say I. It's like, well, what else am I going to sing? You got a beautiful day to be. I love that. It's a beautiful day to be, because it sounds pretty cool
yeah,
lyrically, you know.
it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
Um, when you're doing a new album like this one, of course, true. Um, do you do you kind of think about all the stuff you've done? Do you purposely try to sound different than what you've done before, or is it kind of hard to do? When you're doing new stuff,
No, I think sometimes there's a line in one of the songs where I sing da, 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 da. I'm trying to remember it now. It kind of goes like no, I can't remember it. So it doesn't matter, but I do repeat myself. As I did a song or two with Rick Wakeman 10 years ago, and the song, the words came up again in the middle of a song, where it's something of it. Oh, the House of Freedom.
okay,
Like walking in the house of freedom, like walking in the house of whatever, future, whatever it was. But it's something that it's a tagline sort of thing. And you put it in there because I was singing about the future is going to come. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. If you're in that space in time of worrying about this and that, the other, and this price of petrol,
yeah, right,
the price of eggs. Don't
everything,
let it go of it. Just enjoy life and project that you love everything about what's going on in your life. And you have quirky moments, and like everybody, you have doubt, like everybody. But when you do, just relax and let it go over your head. And goodbye. I've had
right,
enough of that rubbish. Thank you very much. And a
right,
Merry Christmas.
right. It, you know, that's a very positive outlook on life, especially in this climate these days, but there's a lot
Yeah,
of stuff going on in the world as we know this past week.
yeah,
But it's great to have music and to have positive music that kind of lifts you up instead of having some stuff that kind of makes you takes you
right.
down, right? But to have positive words and it's something to think about and looking forward to the future is a good thing when there's good things coming. Uh,
Yeah, I'm a big Kenny Chesney guy.
oh yeah,
He's so
that's right.
cool. And
I
my
like it.
favorite, my favorite guy is it takes me a while to remember his name for some reason. Jacob Collier.
Okay, yeah.
You know
Oh,
Jacob Collier?
yeah.
Thank
Oh,
God Jacob Collier's here.
well, or is there's some people out there that grew up listening to you, or are there some artists out there that have mentioned you as an influence and said you are just the greatest singer ever, and you it kind of floored you? Is there anybody like that out there that's talked to you like that?
Not really, but I like the idea, because I've got a lot of love and appreciation for so many artists, film actors, actresses, and so on. And you get a feeling about what surrounds us in our life, of very memorable songs, very memorable people, and I just get on with my work, of course. And sometimes you think about. I remember one time it was out of the blue. The guy that directed what's it called? Dances with Wolves.
Right.
What's his
Yeah.
name?
Oh man,
Anyway,
I know you're talking about.
yeah, I was having lunch with my wife and a couple of friends, and he came over to my table and said, "I really like your music, man." I said, "Dances with the Wolves. I can't believe you're saying hello to me." God.
Talking about Kevin Costner, I guess.
Kevin Costner,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it just came to. Uh, yeah, so you called him Dances with Wolves?
sort of in my head. In my head. Hi, how are you? I can't believe I'm talking to you. Same when I first met uh, Ringo. You meet Ringo Starr and you're shaking his
Oh,
hand. I said, I can't believe I'm meeting you. How are you? And then you just clam up. He's a Beatle.
right. It's
Can't talk to.
unbelievable. Well,
Yeah.
it's even better when they know who you are, right? When they give it
Why?
right back and say, "I love your music too," right?
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't think, "Oh, come on."
No,
Um,
I met George as well, and
awesome.
oh, he was the most spiritual guy of the Beatles.
Hmm.
But they all were. They were all connected to this wonderful. Let's go to India then. Okay, we'll go to India and we'll get some Sri Ramakrishna energy.
Right.
Yeah, and we all
Well,
followed the path. We all followed in so many different ways.
right. Um, so I know you're excited about the album. You got some other projects or anything going on in addition to the album, or what's
Uh,
going on with
Only 10.
only 10?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're all hovering around. I've been working on a musical. Marc Chagall. I was fortunate enough to meet him on his 90th birthday, and we became friends. And I started writing songs about him. And he said, "Well, it takes a long time for a musical to happen." I said, "No, I'll get it done this year." I was in the studio recording, and he was right. It's taken me 40 years.
is that
And
all?
I'm slowly going to be involved in producing musical about Marc Chagall, because he was and is one of the greatest of all time artists, as far as I know.
Awesome. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. I won't keep you,
Yeah,
but
no, it's all right. And I've got three or four musicals that I wrote when I was in a very strange place. I started writing about it's a famous Greek tragedy called Antigone,
mhm.
and I wrote a rap opera.
Oh wow.
I know, and it still sounds great. I haven't found anybody that might be interested. But
Do you have any? You got any ideas of who you would any body in mind for that?
no, not really. No, but it's just one of a dozen ideas that are still floating around, and one day I'll find a record company that really says, okay, we'll release it, but don't expect any money. I'll say, okay.
There's a lot of them like that.
Yeah, they're all like that.
Well, well, I appreciate you talking to me today. I'm looking forward to the new album, True, August 23rd. And
Yeah,
uh, best of luck to you and all
thank
that you
you.
do. Like I said, huge fan. I still
Thank
can't
you.
believe it. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Worthy, no worthy.
Not
That was
worthy.
it. That was it. When we got 90125 in the charts with Honor of a Lonely Heart, I was with the band and we were going to go on tour. And I wanted, I wanted to get somebody to come and film it. And they just said, no, no, we don't want anybody with a camera. I said, yeah, we should. And I got two guys out of Philadelphia Film School to come and go on tour with Yes. And one of them was called Steve and the other was called Tim. And Tim had a sort of big microphone like that. And Steve had a camera like that sort of thing. And so I just love these guys. I thought they were so fun. And they filmed a little bit about what goes on behind the stage
Right.
on tour, sort of a fly on the wall. And then we drove to Boston. We actually had a private plane, but I didn't want to do it on private plane. So me, Steve, and Tim drove to Boston, and we stopped for some petrol. And there was a cinema right next to the station, petrol station, and there's a big sign saying Spinal Tap. And I said, "What's that?" And Tim said, "Oh, it's all about rock and roll." So I said, "Let's go and watch it." So we went to watch it, and there was me, Steve, and Tim in the cinema with a little old lady at the back. I never laughed as much in my life. Spinal Tap is the bee's knees of rock and roll movies. It's the best thing in the world.
I love it. I
So I
do.
couldn't take 90125 tour very serious because we were like Spinal Tap.
Right. And
Oh,
great video, by the way. The Owner of a Lonely Heart
yeah,
is one of my favorite songs ever.
very
And
good.
it kind of summarizes the 80s for me and the videos and the song.
Yeah,
So good. Thank you for the music. And I'm glad you're still doing it.
thank
And
you.
keep doing it, man. Thank you
Will
so
do.
much for being on today. I appreciate you,
Okay,
John.
take care now.
All righty.
All right, bye.
And there he is, legendary singer Jon Anderson. Brand new album coming out August 23rd called True. New single called Shine On. Check it out. Check out his website for more information. And always remember this, keep the music real.